Okay, it's the final round of rebuttal. 1 minute. Imperialism, you're on the clock.
First, I would like to touch on alliances. As stated in the first round, Speaker 2 said that Britain felt threatened by Germany's expanding empire, which then led them to join the Triple Entente, showing that imperialism was the factor that led to alliances and making imperialism the underlying cause. The second factor I'd like to point out is nationalism, because Kobe stated that Japan wanted colonies to be the biggest and best empire, thus showing nationalist ideals. But in fact, Shantung, the province in question, was an important trade destination that Germany had. So, therefore, it wasn't due to nationalism, which is why Japan wanted to expand and get colonies, and therefore nationalism cannot be attributed to the motive and cause for imperialism. The last area I'd like to touch on is militarism, because when you talk about militarism, it's the belief that a country should maintain a strong military capability and be prepared to use it.
Wrap it up in 5 seconds.
Okay, I can't wrap it up in 5 seconds.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Dominique. Yay. Okay, who's presenting for alliances? Okay, Malika,
You got it.
hold on down. You're the next contestant on the cause of war.
Speak slowly.
Okay. Okay, Malika, you may begin.
So the imperialism group talked about how Franz Ferdinand's assassination was a result of the lack of imperialism. However, if this was true, then an assassination would be nothing more than just an assassination. Abraham Lincoln's assassination was devastating, but it didn't create a whole world war. So it was alliances that turned this this assassination into such a big war, because Austria-Hungary took the assassination as a personal attack by Serbia. So in return, they got their alliances, like Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance, to join, and that caused a bunch more countries to join World War I, which created it to be from just a war to a world war. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And who's presenting for militarism? Yes. Okay, I have to get your sheet. What's that?
You can't. I've said that in debate. So they have. It's true though. They have a non-Jewish definition. Why not? I would gladly say that.
Yeah, but if you...
All right. You may begin.
Okay. The national group says they created competition and say they used militarism to boost it. The goal of militarism was to promote or defend national interests. Nationalism created this competition, but conflict was caused and put into place with military. Moving on to alliances, authorities stated that no one came up on top and there wasn't one main cause. However, later said alliances were the main underlying cause. Apart from this not making sense, alliances wouldn't be powerful without military. These are sensitivities regarding to militarism that drove these alliances to happen.
Right. Thank you very much.
That just shows that they didn't understand anything.
I agree.
Funny.
I
I'm just saying, no, it's it can't always be this. The truth is the truth.
Nationalism. Okay, you may begin.
As the first rebuttal speaker stated, militarism is an agent of the war, not what caused it. Therefore, to dismantle the militarism argument, we must find out what caused militarism in the first place, and that is nationalism. Nationalism caused militarism because nations are actually propelled to expand their militaries because of how other nations, like Britain, who expanded their militaries and colonies throughout the world because of their nationalistic desires to prove their own national supremacy, threatened other European nations' superiority and dominance. This led to a domino effect where every nation in the world started to develop their military, specifically those in Europe, like Germany. In order to protect their supremacy, European nations would start a competition of militaries, thus making nationalism the main root cause for the World War, because of how it caused nationalism, a major catalyst for the World War I.
Wow, okay, thank you. Good, strong comeback there. And let's pause the video.